Do y'all know what today is? It's the first day of 40 days of fashion. 40 days of fashion. It's Chickadee. So y'all excited, Billy Clan? First, before we get started, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Go in, like, comment, share. Before we get started, I'm gonna go ahead and dive into a little bit of background about Telfar Global. And I'm going to break down what trend forecasting is, and I'm going to provide my trend forecast for Telfar Global spring and summer of 2027. So, first of all, Telfar Global is a New York based business that sells bags. They're really well known for that. Accessories, apparel such as dresses, skirts, pants, shorts, hoodies, shirts, the like, and more. It was founded by Telfar Clemens and a couple of his friends in 2005, and he's birthed into what we know it now as Telfar Global, like we know it today. I personally love Telfar. If I can get the privilege to collab, that would be very, 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 very great. But we'll just see what happens in the future, guys. We'll just see what happens in the future. So let me break down what trend forecasting is. Trend forecasting is predicting what will happen in the coming seasons based on past data, history, present data, and using that to predict the future trends. And that could be things in trims, colors, silhouettes, apparel, so on and so forth. A few things that prompted my inspiration for creating my Telfar trend forecast boards was, first off, a few things from their previous collection from the fall and like last year. So they came out with this ballerina sequin purse, and it also came in like some other colors, but the ballerina one really like stood out to me the most. They also have their camo two-piece sets that came out, and they also transferred that print and that design onto their purses, and they had like a little photo shoot and runway show for that. They also came up with their thank you print clothing as well. They have shirts and bags for those, and that was really unique to me. And I just wanted my whole thing to be called Stereago because I literally fell asleep trying to come up with a name for it, and the name came to me in a dream, and I was like, you know what? That's unique. It's relevant. I like it, and I used it. So it's Stereago, the emergence of illumination. And I say illumination because going back to sequins, they're bright, they're shiny, they're eye catching, so on and so forth. Perfect, right? And I was just intrigued by and wanted to include different shiny things like the sun, patterns, and jewelry and gems, things of that nature. So moving on to my next board, which is my non-apparel associated items board. I chose a different plethora of items, randomized items, but it was still relevant in some kind of way, shape, and form. They embodied the color palette that I decided to incorporate into my trend forecast. Well, there were things like the coconut, the key, an anchor, a bear, so on and so forth. My next board I decided to create was the colorway board, the palette basically. I wanted to make it look like makeup palette. And as you can see, I don't know if you guys peeped or not, but the background is glitter to really correlate with the emergence of illumination. Our palette includes the Mariana Trench, Upgrade, Moss, Inner Peace, Reflection, Lava Fountain, Content, Relief, Break Free, Cold Before the Diamond, Fertile Soil, and Medalist. Really wanted them to be really symbolic and meaningful when it came to the color names, and because I just wanted it to be a stronger colorway, and these are some colors that I saw, like especially the lighter colors, and I say it emerges to illumination because it's going from those darker colors to more lighter ones, as you can see with a few of my selections. Going based off of the trend in which I think that Telfar will be going in the future, some fabrics I chose were the sequin fabrics with the red and the bronze. Also have the vinyl in the middle just for that reflection, because they did come up with a reflection purse. So maybe in the future they'll play around with reflective surfaces when it comes to different decals on their shirts or things of that nature. Well, a few other fabrics on here. We have reds, we have brown, black, green, blues, pink. It's a really light pink, but pink. And our next board is the looks board. I really wanted to create some looks that will really go with what Telfar already does, and using what they already do and have done to predict what they might do in the future, to predict what they'll do in the spring, summer of 2027. I chose the first look is a shirt with the jorts, kind of. They're green and pink. Really feel like that's really good and really cute and relevant. The shirt has the E with the like T in the middle for their Telfar logo, and they have Telfar across the front of the pants. I could see them doing that. Maybe you even doing the Telfar words in glitter. You know, who knows what they'll do. This is all a prediction, just based on what they have done. And it's also like this cross bag, because if you all are familiar with Telfar, they also have a cross shirt and cross dress that's like made like the silhouette of a cross, which I find very, very interesting, because I don't think any brand has done that. So that's really unique. I like that. It's really different. The next one is the beige shirt with the side profile, the beige shirt with the blue skirt. And it just has like openings on the sides, and it's sequin. The shirt, the green shirt, is also sequin as well. It might do something, it might not. It's a prediction. Up next is our third one, which is the orange shirt with the brown pants, which are sequin. And I decided to include their modular boots as well, because they're more recent boots. They might change them, of course, in the future, sometime in the future. Depending on what they decide to do, they might go ahead and just end up doing something completely different than the modular boots. But if they do not, and they still want to continue to move that and incorporate that into their new seasons, then that's what I predict they will pair those boots with. Because in my opinion, they're pretty neutral. You know, they're pretty neutral. And they also have that collaboration with Timberland. So they might keep that as well. Which we see on our fourth look, which is the like bronzish color. It's an off-the-shoulder shirt, and it has Telfar across the front with the logo on either side, and it's sequin, and there's like some capris, and it's a repetition of Telfar going front and backwards, and it kind of like alludes to the thank you bag pattern that they did. So that's what I wanted to incorporate. And I also put one of the like circular bags on the floor in front of her. Up next, we have our gray shirt with the crossbody purse for unisex. It is a unisex brand. For those of you who don't know, Telfar Global is a unisex brand. Male, female. If you don't consider yourself to be either male or female, it applies to everybody. It's for everyone. Also, the same print I used from the fourth look also transferred into the fifth one with the shorts. And last but not least, we have the really simple, but it's still cute. It will be something that I will probably get. Last but not least, some trends that I think will be soon in the spring summer collection of Telfar will be their trims. So I wanted to really highlight some things that they already have used, and also try to see and predict like what they can use and possibly might use in the future. So some trims I predict are their drawstrings. A lot of their clothing has drawstrings. Their shorts and their pants and their dresses, they incorporate the drawstring, because it's kind of like a streetwear brand as well. So real casual wear. So they'll use that. Some buttons, they really don't do too much crazy stuff with their trims. So like some buttons, they'll continue to use that possibly. I also did some mesh because I don't know, just the dress that they have, the dresses that they have made, they just give mesh. Like I feel like that could be incorporated somehow, like on like a skirt or something. Scallop trims, whatever scallop trims they decide to use. I just feel like there's not a particular one. Like I know, like I put this picture up, but there will be. I predict that there will be some scallop trim. And last but not least, zippers. So I'm sure they'll continue to use zippers and probably use it in a much different way than they already have used it. So those are my predictions for the spring summer collection of 2027 for Telfar Global. Prep and research over time before I made this video. I did a lot of preparation for it. It was a class assignment, which is why it involved a lot more than what I'm showing you. But it is a very involved process. Trend forecasting. It was a little difficult for me. I'm not gonna lie, cause just given some things like the trims, for example, that was a little difficult for me to come up with. The colors as well, cause I'm like, I mean, Telfar really plays around with their color palette. There's like, I took the color palette of like their purses, and I just was like, okay, so which one of these or which one? Now, also one other key thing I used was what colors were running out. Like if there were purses and they were like out of stock, I'm like, okay, what if they take those colors and do something with them later on? Like for a spring summer collection. That would be really cool. So if you would like to see more trend forecasting videos from scratch up until presentation like I just gave to y'all, please let me know in the comments. And if y'all like this video, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for the next day of 40 Days of Fashion.